I got 80 million views on a reel, and I do this every time. Welcome back to another video, and in this video I want to talk about why your Instagram account is not growing. I got a lot of questions from people and they always ask, why is Instagram not growing? I post so much and it's just staying at the same range of followers. Everything I try hashtags, I try this, that, and nothing works. Well, usually it was really easy to grow on Instagram. I started like 5 years ago, and in the beginning it was really easy to grow because I got like 30,000 followers in like 3 months or something, and that was just because one image went sort of viral, right? So now it's really difficult to get viral images because Instagram is not just images anymore, it's also videos, right? So that's the main focus you want to do. You want to also focus on videos. So I want to talk about how you can change your Instagram profile to get more followers. Alright, so actually the basic things that you need to be sure that you do is make sure you have a clear username. If you have a really long username on Instagram, it's really difficult to remember that and people are not gonna recognize you. So first of all, make sure you have a clear username on Instagram and not like a really long name with some numbers in it and stuff like that. And when you have a clear username, make sure you have a eye-catching profile photo. So for eye-catching profile photo, I've seen a lot of accounts making just one color background. So you cut out your head and then you use a color as a background. So for instance, yellow or maybe orange, some really colorful color to pop out from the rest. So that also works to get recognized on Instagram.
I know you.
Now, besides this, make sure you have a bio. There are some search engines that search accounts for bio. Maybe people still use it, I don't know, but make sure to have a bio where you really explain what you are doing and what you are, right? So if you don't have a bio or you just have your name, people are not gonna follow you because they don't know what you do and they don't even know if it's your own photos or artwork on your page. So make sure to explain as much as possible in your bio with these lines, like points or whatever you call them. Now, the next thing you want to make sure is you have enough photos on your profile. And if you have like 3 or 4 photos and you try to grow, of course it's not going to grow because you don't have enough for people to look at. So when you post images, and I think this is probably the most important part of everything, when you upload photos, if you take photos yourself and you're not editing them in Photoshop or Lightroom, you're just uploading them as they are, like raw photos. We have to be true with this because they don't look good, right? Unless you have like a super cool photographer camera or whatever and you don't need to edit them. But I'm pretty sure every wildlife photographer that got a lot of followers edits his photos, and I've seen photos that are edited a lot. So everything you see from these big accounts that are wildlife photographers, they usually edit their photos a lot. So if you're not editing your photos, that is your main problem. You have to edit your photos always, right? So maybe 1 in the 100 photos that you don't edit is good, but I'm pretty sure you have to edit most of your photos. So make sure you edit those photos and create your own style. You can create like presets for Lightroom so that you can have like one style, but I think editing every photo with a other approach is better because that way you can really focus on the photo itself instead of applying a preset to a photo and then thinking it looks good, right? So make sure to edit every photo that you take, even if it's just a little bit, just to make it better, right? So that's the important thing. Now, and while you edit your photos, you have to create your own style that is recognizable. Maybe you have like everything in one color tone. That also works. I've seen photographers have like these really cool color tones in one color tone image. So maybe every photo is kind of a bit bluish. I've seen that on photographers, and it really creates like this recognizable style. So that's the way you can create your own style. If you don't want to do that, just make sure to edit them really good. So besides having your own style and having like this good bio and good profile photo, you want to make sure you post enough, right? So usually what we will do is we just post photos. If you are a photographer or digital artist, you probably want to just post photos and using a lot of hashtags, and you think that's gonna work. It's not working anymore. Hashtags, for instance, don't use more than 10 hashtags. That's what I noticed works best. If you're using like 30 hashtags, it's gonna get seen as a bit of kind of spam, so they're not gonna get the reach you want. So use 10 hashtags max. That's what I did. I got 80 million views on a reel, and I do this every time I try to switch those hashtags. So don't use the same hashtags over and over again, but use different hashtags and try to keep it not more than 10. That's way it's not just like spam hashtags, but just good hashtags that represent your photo or video. I think posting videos is a lot better now, and if you don't know what kind of videos you have to make, take a look at different photographers, their account, and see what kind of reels they are making. A lot of photographers just make kind of slideshows from their photos. So for instance, you can make a first video like maybe 3 seconds, the camera is looking at you with the camera, I've seen that, and then it's just moving, the shot is just moving around you, and then you show a slideshow of your photos. And those kind of simple reels get a lot of reach now, and probably all these wildlife photographers are doing it now. Try it out yourself, because the first 3 or 4 seconds of your reel is the most important part. If people watch 3 seconds of your reel and they scroll away, Instagram is gonna think your reel sucks, and it's not gonna show to anyone else of your followers, and also not to new followers. So Instagram is using your own followers as a test. So make sure you create a reel that people from your own following list are gonna watch at least the 5 seconds, and then of course it's gonna drop a bit, but the first like 3 to 5 seconds is the most important part, because if they're gonna drop off at these beginning parts, Instagram is not gonna push your video to other people. So make sure to make reels. You can even make reels instead of photos. So I would even say just make reels and post a photo once in a while. But if you like posting without having followers, then you can just post photos and it's not gonna grow, right? So make sure to post reels. Besides reels, carousels also work good now. Reels were really good in 2022 and 2023, I think. Some months ago they just went down, but they still work better than posts, right? And now what you want to do is post carousel. I've made a video about this before this video. I will link that in the description if you want to see that, how you can make carousel posts with just one image. You can also be creative and think about other stuff. So those are my key things to grow on Instagram. You can also do collaborations and stuff like that, but I think you know that already. So try to post as much reels and carousel posts as possible. They will make sure you get reach, right? So thanks for watching. I hope this video is quite useful for you, and I hope you will grow on Instagram. See you on the next one.